tremendous research on the social study, the evidence-based scientific study. And can you give some examples of some of these core contradictions you see between, again, these myths and what the science actually says when it comes to the fruits or lack thereof of competition?
Well, when I went into this project, I was already convinced that competition was not great for our psychological health. That if we have to spend our lives trying to defeat others and fend off others who are trying to defeat us, this is not going to be great for the way we feel about ourselves and our sense of balance in the world. And the research proved that correct. I don't know how many people mistrust that or already accept it, but when you plumb people, when you invite them to reflect on it, I think a lot of people realize that winners as well as losers are perpetually in a state of doubt about their own status, their own competence, their own value, because even when you succeed, it's only temporary, and your sense of self-confidence and self-esteem is perpetually conditional. That is, you're only as good as the number of people you've defeated lately, and that's a recipe for neurosis. The research also shows a great deal of harm in terms of our relationship with other people. Interpersonally, we're desperately trying to be a winner, and we envy other winners. We are contemptuous of losers, and we're suspicious of and defensive about just about everybody, because even if you're not my rival today, you could be tomorrow. And in fact, the research demonstrates here that competition is enormously destructive to people's social and moral status. Children who are placed in competitive situations are less generous, more likely to tend toward envy, and less able or willing to imagine how the world looks from other people's points of view, which psychologists call perspective taking. That is one of the groundwork, the foundations of a moral way of life. What's interesting about the research on those first 2 points about psychological health and relationships is the problem isn't just when competition is done badly or to excess or too early in life. These problems are inherent to any arrangement that says I can succeed only if you fail. And that's sort of a running theme throughout my book, is to talk about how you can't solve the problem by just putting competition in its place, by doing it a little less overtly, or telling kids, just be a good sport about it, and so on.
Right.
The problem is not with the implementation of competition. The problem is with the very idea of competition. Anyway, what I did not expect when I went into this project was that competition is also destructive to performance, to productivity, to achievement. I confess that I thought that a less competitive society might be a healthier and happier one, but we might have to give up some achievement. And here I was dead wrong. What the research overwhelmingly indicates is that competition tends to hold us back from doing our best. And in fact, study after study has shown across cultures, across genders, across ages, and across tasks, that if you take a whole bunch of people and half of them you ask to do a given task, solve a puzzle, for example, and the other half given the identical task but told there'll be a prize for whoever does this best, the people in the first group tend to outperform the people in the second group. In other words, there's something about competition that actually interferes with bottom line achievement, so competition turns out to be as counterproductive as it is unhealthy.